Thanks again for coming tonight. We really appreciate it. You might wonder why Historic Denver is out in Arvada. Well, we are in partnership with the National Trust for Historic Preservation and received a grant from the State Historical Fund to put together a series of workshops for homeowners in the Denver metro area, and that includes Arvada. And as Kim mentioned, we have held a first workshop on a pattern and design idea book for post-war neighborhoods in Arvada. And future workshops that we'll be holding include window weatherization, wood trim and masonry maintenance, energy efficiency and audits, and a tax credit workshop for those historic districts that are on the National Register that are eligible for tax credits. And so, just to show of hands, how many of you were at the first workshop on the pattern and design idea book? Wow, thank you so much for returning. We really appreciate it. I'll just briefly tell you about who we are at Historic Denver. We were founded 40 years ago, and we got our start by saving the Molly Brown House from demolition. And today we own and operate the Molly Brown House Museum, which is one of the most successful house museums in the country. We have something like 45,000 visitors a year to the Molly Brown House, which is pretty remarkable. We are a nonprofit, membership-driven organization, and our primary focus is on advocacy, sustainability, and education as it relates to historic preservation. Tonight, as Kim mentioned, we'll be talking about preservation basics with just a brief overview of Arvada, shorter than what some of you might have heard when we were here for the Pattern and Design Idea book, as well as we will talk just briefly about the Pattern and Design Idea booklet for those of you that would like to know a little bit more about it. As Kim had mentioned, we are in the process of developing two booklets. One is a post-war booklet, and you can see those boards that are up here, and we're also now doing a pre-war house booklet based on homes from Reno Park and Stockwalter. And then we'll be talking about preservation basics. Essentially, what is historic preservation, what historic preservation is not, why it's important, and the topic of historic designation, which varies city by city. And lastly, we'll follow up with some discussion on the rewards and responsibilities of historic preservation. Feel free to ask questions during the presentation if you'd like clarification on anything. We'd love this to be as interactive as possible.
And we know that many of you are experts on the history of Arvada, so don't be afraid to
correct us. And at this point, I'll turn it over to Phil, who will be providing a brief overview of the city's history, including the neighborhoods of Alta Vista and Elm.